Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Who's Your Band podcast. We have a special episode for everybody today. We are going to be talking about one-hit wonders. We are talking about bands that have charted and only have one hit. We are joined today by a very special guest. This guy is a comedian. He's a producer. He's our good friend, Mr. Scott Brennan. How are you, Scott?
Hello, fellas. Good to be here. Good to be on a different podcast for once. I know Sean's got 11 of them, so I'm glad I got invited to one of them. So thank you for having me.
If you want to do my self-help podcast, believe me, I'll pencil out like 9 hours for you.
You offering self-help is a scary concept. I'm just throwing that out there.
It kind of is. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of like me giving diet advice as well, too.
I get a lot of anxiety talking about like favorite music and things like that. Like as soon as the topic of favorites comes up, music, comedy, I get very in my head about narrowing things down. So,
well, the good thing is you'll never hear anybody's list of favorite comedians and hearing either your name or Jeff Paul's name. So you never have to worry about that.
Well, that's true.
Why does he have to say that? It's so
because I don't lie, Jeff. I don't lie. I speak the truth. I try and keep things on the reg. You know what I mean?
Okay. With that, let's get into all this for today. And okay, so we are doing one-hit wonders, and we're gonna go with our brazen co-host today. We're gonna go with Sean Morton to lead us off. And Sean, who did you go with first?
Well, I think one of the greatest one-hit wonders of all time is it's a cheesy song, and it got big on rock radio, which really surprised me, was Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
Ah, sure, of course.
Okay. I actually saw them in concert.
They couldn't have been headlining.
No, they were the opening band. It was like one of those K-Rock 92.3 low-dose shows where you paid 92 cents for a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like them, Seven Mary 3, and Days of the New, which is basically three bands with one-hit wonders.
I was going to say, they could all qualify for that list.
Absolutely. And people are like looking at them like, what is this band? They have no idea who it is. And they started playing that song, and the place lost their shit.
That's kind of like an anthem type of song. Like, you can see people like joining in and jumping. It almost reminds me of Jump.
Oh yeah, it was actually really cool to see. But like the lady came out and she was drinking like a fifth of Jack Daniels and the nun's outfit with like boxing gloves on. Very strange. Very strange.
Some of their other stuff is actually like relatively heavy, relatively like punkish. It's kind of interesting that song was the one that kind of put them on the map there.
Really, I never heard one song.
It's the only song that charted for them.
Absolutely. That's my first pick.
That's a good pick. That's a good way to get started. All right, Scott.
All right. I went with one that, they're kind of a band that has somewhat of a hippie following, but everyone's really kind of tuning in for that one song. And I went with Rusted Root, Send Me On My Way, which is just a fantastic song that really no one really cares about their other stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It is a good song. It's got a flute, which I'm kind of against the flute. That's why I hate Jethro Tull.
Yeah, but it's got a nice flute. It's got a very upbeat flute that puts me in a good mood.
When I think of that song, though, Jeff, I think of like girls wearing patchouli with hairy armpits and dirty feet.
Yes, Jeff's type of girl.
I like that. I'm a big Lilith Fair person.
Well, I can tell
back in 2021.
You would look like a very, very hairy dyke, though.
I'll take it. I'm fine. I'm good with that.
I mean, I do have the tits on the podcast, but
you do. You are working your way down to C cups right now.
I am. I have a very full B at the moment, just so you know. They're very supple.
Okay. Okay. So for my list, I'm going to do it in chronological order, and I went back decades. So I did. I went back to 1955.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah,
you were like 22 back then.
I was waiting for one of you fucking hacks to make that joke. You didn't disappoint me, Scott. Okay.
Nice Chiefs hat.
Good comeback. I'm gonna go with the Penguins doing Earth Angel. And I mean, it is a major blockbuster song. It was in the movie Back to the Future. It was in Karate Kid 3. It was in Happy Days. It's a great song, and the reason, I mean, and they're all great vocals. Here's the reason why the Penguins were only a one-hit wonder, is because they have this one hit. The song blows up, and they're all fighting over royalties from the song. But Earth Angel is a really beautiful, great, like doo-woppy night. Really. Is really like essentially like what a 1950s song is. So that was my first pick.
Earth also, the song was covered by one of the greatest bands of all time. I don't know if you know this. New Edition.
That's right. But you threw me off when you said band. But yeah, they did the version in Karate Kid 3.
Yep.
Yeah, this is very, very common.
Oh, I'm sorry. Karate Kid 2. Karate Kid 2.
This is a very common theme with a lot of those doo-wop bands. Like, I used to work with Joe Fernandez over at the TV state, fellow comic, and there was a summer concert series, and there was always these old doo-wop bands, and they would all have this one major hit, and then they would just cover everybody else doo-wop band. So they would doo-wop songs. So very, very common in that era. They get that one, and then over time they just keep replacing the members, where even like they would have brothers of deceased members, but they just keep that name and keep going. So very common. I like the pick, Jeff.
Yeah, like even Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons now is Frankie Valli, and even though I think a couple of the Four Seasons, two of the Four Seasons are still alive. It's all right, different members, nondescript guys, just kind of like to boost up Frankie Valli. Okay, let's keep this going. And Sean Morton,
a song from high school which I loved and never had a second hit. But the woman who sings in the band has written a million hits. What's Up by Four Non Blondes.
Yeah,
I love them.
Always a great song. Linda Perry, one of the best songwriters out there, writes a lot of stuff for my girl Pink. And she's also married to Sarah Gilbert from Roseanne.
Okay, that's an interesting. Yeah, that's a great song. What's Up? Remember, everyone loved that. That was a great video too. She was wearing the big goggles on her head.
Yep. Unfortunately, it's one of those songs that every woman in the world sings at karaoke at one point in their life.
Yeah.
So I don't appreciate that, but I do appreciate a good song. So that's number 2 on my list.
I like it. Good, Scott.
I'm going to piggyback right off of Sean with another female singer, kind of in that 90s era. And one hit wonder, but it's one of my favorite songs to do in karaoke. And that would be Love Fool by the Cardigans.
Oh,
that's a fantastic song.
Yeah,
it's a great song. I always think of my drummer being drunk at this little bar in Bergenfield and him dancing and singing this song at the top of his lungs, and I never let him live it down.
But here's why I may kind of dispute that they're a one-hit wonder, and I could be off on this a little bit. They did have another hit when they did a cover version of the La's song "There She Goes."
Yeah, I'm still going to put them into major one-hit wonder category. You never really heard much of them after that. And karaoke-wise, Sean, reminded me and my friend Jackie, we would sing that in duets every time we went to a karaoke bar. Love me. She would come in the second part. It was great.
And I don't think that There She Goes was them, by the way, Jeff. I think that was Sixpence None the Richer.
I think you're right.
Actually, I know I'm right. I'm right, which I usually am on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. So so the Cardigans, Love Fool is a great pick then.
I agree.
And that's a really good song. Remember how tremendous that was? That was what? That was early 2000s?
I think it might have been early. Let me check.
I think it's in the late 90s, actually. Yeah, I think it's in the late 90s. I don't think that's in 2000 yet.
I remember
that.
Really super cute.
Oh, very. Do you have your next pick, Jeff? Is it something from like the 1930s or?
No, I'm moving up. So I said chronological. So I'm going to go 1961. We're going to go into the 60s.
1996, by the way, Cardigans. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, that song even holds up to this day, I think.
It does.
Great tune.
I'm going to go a song that you guys know, but an artist that you don't. The song was called Ghost Riders in the Sky. Okay. It's the Outlaws version, the version by Johnny Cash. In fact, Johnny Cash sang this song on the Muppet Show, but the band that made it famous was a group called the Ramrods, and they did a lot of instrumentals. But this was the only song that really charted for this group. The song was written in 1948, and the guy who it was written for was Burl Ives. And you guys know who Burl Ives is because he does the Christmas songs and, Silver and Gold and all in the little kid Christmas show movies from the 1970s. So I thought that was kind of like a pretty interesting thing. But if you ever listen to the Ramrods, it's all guitar and banjo. And it's a really cool version. But it's the only song that ever charted for them.
The Ramrod, wasn't that the club that Scott used to hang out with in college?
He did, and then he moved on to the Blue Oyster. Yes. You are correct.
Yeah, I headline there very often, just to let you know.
So my next one is, I think when this song came out, I think a lot of people thought this woman was going to have a really big career because she kind of filled a gap of like kind of soulful, sultry songs, and it was one and done. Was Black Velvet by Alana Miles.
Yeah. She was supposed to have like this big career, and there was a big push for her. Did she ever come up with a follow-up or anything?
She put out another album, nothing came off of it. But again, I have a little bit of a trend. These are all songs that I was so disgusted by hearing these chubby, bleach blonde fucking fat girls at karaoke singing these songs all the time.
What kind of life do you live outside of
I did a lot of karaoke before I had my band. So that's how I got my singing practice in.
Yeah.
That's a good song. Yeah, a song about Elvis Presley.
Yeah, great killer song. I mean, and it still holds up today too. It really does still hold up. And I never heard a cover of it either, which is very interesting. I would have thought somebody would have done that by now.
Except fat, chubby girls who sing this at karaoke.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, Scott, I'm sorry. What's your third pick?
All right, I got a song. I thought this band was going to be pretty huge. They tried a little bit with a second follow-up album. They still float around on these 90s reunion tours. But I went with Sponge's Plowed, which I thought was a fantastic song.
Love that. Oh, my God.
Great song. Yeah, they tried a little bit with Wax Ecstatic after that, but it just couldn't.
That wasn't bad either.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. The album wasn't very good. But the first Sponge album was good, and Plowed is still a fantastic song.
But I have to disagree with you.
That had a really cool chorus. In fact, one of my last choices when we get to the 90s is a song that I think is in that same era. Yeah, that's a good choice.
But again, you're not correct, though, Scott. They're not a one-hit wonder because the song Molly that came out afterwards was actually even bigger than Plowed.
16 candles down the drain. I guess so.
Basically. Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah, you see, you can't get one past Sean Morton.
Can't get one. Did I ever tell you that the singer from Sponge kissed me one time?
Why?
Was that one of the
I went to see them at Starland Ballroom, and he's like 106 pounds soaking wet. And it was right when Wax Ecstatic came out, and I loved that album. I loved the song. I was right on the front. He's losing his shit, and he's singing and dancing around. He jumps off the stage at Birchill. Sorry, not Starland. Birchill.
My favorite.
Jumps off the stage and went right in front of me and grabbed my face and kissed me around the lips for no reason.
I thought you would check.
You've been bright red ever since, man.
Yes, and I've been sexually confused ever since.
All right. I'm sticking in the 1960s, same year, by the way, 1961. I'm going to go Curtis Lee, and he had a huge hit with the song called "Pretty Little Angel Eyes." I don't know if you guys know it. It was big by Sha-Na-Na, but Curtis Lee's version and Carl Carlton's version were both bigger hits, but this was the one that really charted in 1961. You've heard the song a million times. Trust me.
I've never heard it once.
I like how Jeff's like, when I get to the 90s, that's like 7 picks from now. Like,
like fucking 4.5 hours in.
Yeah. I got a lot of picks here.
I'm sure you do. Listen, if we're gonna pick one, like I'm trying to bounce around. I had them all written out in alphabetical order. I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. Probably top 5 greatest one-hit wonder of all time. Guys made a career off of one song.
I have a feeling you're going to have the one that I have on this list.
Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
No, that's not my pick.
Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice made this guy a full career. This guy toured and made millions of dollars off of that. He even re-recorded it. I don't know if you know that, Jeff.
He did, yes.
He re-recorded
it. Was it a little harder version?
It was, yeah. He changed it to Too Cold when the whole rap rock shit came out.
That's badass. That's badass.
Hey, listen, if you're gonna milk something, might as well milk that one hit for all it's worth. You know what I mean?
Sean, if you're gonna tell me Sponge had a second hit, how can you discount Vanilla Ice and the Ninja Turtle rap? Huge song.
I can easily dispute that.
Big hit.
Not even close. Not even close, my friend.
But yeah, now he's got like house
he flips houses,
shows, and
fucking great. Flips houses. I love that.
Remember when he tried to put out that like Korn-esque kind of album in that rap rock era? He came back with like a full band, and
it was great.
He did a hard version of Ice Ice Baby. It was brutal.
That's milking the same hit.
I kind of like it though. What do you got next, Scotty?
I'm sticking in the 90s here. Here's a band that it kind of hurts me to say because they just put out a new album, the first one in like maybe 20 years, and it's fantastic. But their only huge radio hit was the song Stars, and that is by a band called Hum that I absolutely loved. And they just put out a new album for the first time. It's heavy, it's melodic, it's very kind of like post-rock, very good song. But I'm going to go with Hum's Stars.
I never heard that.
The train to Mars. She's out back.
Oh, yes.
Star. Very heavy,
I just didn't know
power chords. Really cool song. I used to cover it a lot with my old bands and whatnot. Very good song.
I just didn't know who the name of it was. But that's a good one. I'm going to write that down to download that for my, my playlist when I want to contemplate suicide, apparently.
No, please do then. Please do.
Who you got, Jeff?
I got another song that you guys have to know, man. Robert Knight, Everlasting Love, covered by Gloria Estefan. U2. This was the B-side of All I Want Is You, and then that became tremendous. But Robert Knight was the one who made it big. And what's great about it is like the chorus, the harmony ooze in it, and a great use of especially in the original version, the great Hammond organ sound in the song, which really stands out, and it really again exemplifies the 1960s, and it's a great catchy pop song. And I gotta tell you, I absolutely love U2's version of it as well.
It is a good version, even though I'm not a super huge U2 fan. I do appreciate that song.
Jesus, Jeff, we're not out of the 60s yet.
I have more 60s, but I'm gonna get out of the 60s than that. What is it? That's a good song.
That's a very good song.
No,
that's a good song. We actually know that one. Not Little Blue Angel or whatever the hell your last one was.
Pretty Little Angel Eyes. Trust me, you know it.
Since I am an 80s fanatic, I'm going to jump back into the 80s a little bit. One of these songs that you've heard probably 16 million times in your life. You've heard every cover band in the world do it. I'm going Tainted Love by Soft Cell.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
It's a great song.
It's a good pick.
It's had a bunch of people cover it too. I think it was on like the Wedding Singer soundtrack, one of those 80s revival soundtracks. But I think if you pick one decade, I think you got to go with the 80s as far as the most one-hit wonders.
Oh yeah, wait till I get to my 80s picks.
Well, you're only up to 1962, so we'll be getting there soon. So
you guys didn't tell me this is a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, this is gonna be the first fucking 9-hour podcast we've ever done. But yeah, I like that song a lot, so that made my list.
Yeah, that's one that still holds up too. It's still a fun song for sure. I'm gonna go. I gotta throw a little plug in. I actually had this guy on my podcast recently, and this was an anthem. I was probably 9th grade-ish, and every girl knew it, sang the lyrics to. Guys dug it, but I'm going to go with Brian Vander Ark or the lead singer of the Verve Pipe, and that would be The Freshman.
It's a killer song.
Yep.
Killer song. You don't like it, Jeff?
No.
Really?
I never liked that song.
Oh, I always did.
They were British, right?
No. See, that's the
Thinking of the Verve.
We had him on the show, and the Verve
Oh, yeah, they did a Bittersweet Symphony,
yeah.
right?
So I asked him, about how many times he's been asked to play Bittersweet Symphony, and he's like, "No, different band," right. But he was a sweetheart of a guy, really interesting guy. But yeah, that song was a massive, massive hit, and
it was a big hit. But I remember that was all over FM radio. But I mean, I never got into it. It was a little too melancholy for me.
And there was 2 versions of that song, if you remember. He recorded. It was originally like a softer, more cool, and then they added a little bit more like a little bit more beef to it, if you will, in the second version. And that's the one that everyone knows. Yeah, you love the beef, bro.
Okay. Why are you encouraging him, Sean? He's
because it's true. You love the cock. Anyway, continue.
The cock.
The cock.
I'm gonna go. This is like my wife's favorite song, man. 1973, King Harvest, "Dancing in the Moonlight." Do you guys know that song?
So your wife has bad taste in music and men. Okay, great.
Idiots. You probably heard the cover version by the English group Top Loader. They did it in Big Daddy. It's been played in a billion different commercials. "Dancing in the Moonlight" is a really great song. And what's great about this song is, it's interesting, is the guy who wrote it, who's in the band, King Harvest, Sherman Kelly, writes this song after he's violently assaulted. But the song is a sweet song about how life could be so simple and fun if you're just dancing in the moonlight. It's that. So he wrote it after this violent attack. That's what inspired him to write it. But you know this song.
So the guy
saying this, you should know this.
Did you just get the chills when Jeff was just like, life can be so good when you're just dancing in the moonlight? Jesus, Jeff.
All I'm thinking about this poor guy is getting ass raped in a parking lot by 6 men, and then he's standing up and he's looking up and he's going, everything's gonna be okay because I'm gonna dance in the moonlight. Ugh.
That's what inspired him to write the song.
Ugh. Horrible.
Oh, listen, that's it. See, Sean knows it, or Scott knows it.
Of course.
So if you've ever been,
it's not the Verve. Okay,
yeah,
it's not the fucking Verve.
Verve pipe, bro. Verve pipe.
Verve pipe. Pipe. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean Morton.
So if you ever went to a bar anytime between 1997 and before COVID, you'd know that this is the last song that they play every single night. "Closing Time" by Semisonic.
Yeah, I had that written down myself.
I did not like the song, but it was I was not a big fan of it. But
I hate bars that play it when it's closing time.
Even worse is when you have a cover band who plays it as the last song too, because every cover band in the world plays that song.
That's right.
Not a fan, but you got to put it on the list.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm going to go with it's a song that you'll sing along to. You hear it. It's a fun song. I'm going to go with "I'm Gonna Be" or "500 Miles" by the Proclaimers.
I love that song.
It's a great song. It's a great
You don't
song.
come on, son. That's a fun song.
When I wake up,
I will go 500 miles and you will go 500 miles. That's a great song.
God, I'd rather have hot sauce directly poured into my asshole than ever hear that song ever.
That could be arranged, by the way.
Yeah, he's definitely done that. That's why he brought that up so quick.
That's right. I think he secretly wants it.
You people are picking some fucking. Everyone I've picked has been fantastic and is definitely on a #1 pick. Wait. You guys are picking these songs.
You're going to go out on this limb and defend "Closing Time" that hard right now?
I'm not saying it's a good song. I'm saying it belongs on the list.
Fantastic of yours. It's a terrible song.
Very different. It belongs on the list.
Well, it's still a one-hit wonder.
Right, exactly.
We also really didn't discuss this. We're just talking about big one-hit wonders or good ones. So it's kind of morphed along the way.
Well, I think anything that charted, that gave the band, an identity, and it's the only thing. Like, wait till you get to my next pick. But go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I'm up again. All right.
Yes.
He just did. He picked the 500 Mile song. That piece of shit.
Okay. Oh, then I am up. This is my last song in the 70s, and if you looked at pop culture in the 70s, especially the early 70s, okay, you know what all the craze was? It was karate movies. So how can you
If
not?
you fucking say Kung Fu
here it
Fighting,
I'm going to say
Here it comes.
Carl
Here it
Douglas
comes.
Kung Fu Fighting. Okay. Yes,
this is the
it
last
was.
podcast.
Sean,
This is
how do
definitely
you
the
do
last
this
podcast.
weekly? How do you do this?
What is wrong with that song? How is that? It's the
Everything
only
is wrong
hit
with
that he
that song.
had. Okay, it's the only hit that he had.
Sean,
What year was it?
Suddenly the Proclaimers are looking real good after
Yeah,
that one.
I might
No, it's
download.
not. You both of you guys are idiots. That is the quintessential one-hit wonder.
What year did that come out?
1974.
So I can picture you being probably about 10, right?
Right.
10ish, with like
Okay.
your little butterfly collar shirt, right? Sticking out of the polyester suit, and you look in the mirror playing that song, going like this, right? You did
I
that.
wouldn't go
didn't
like
you?
this.
You did, didn't you?
What kind of karate is this?
Oh, good Lord. What a fucking shit show this show is turning out to be. Let me tell you. Oh, the horrible picks that you pick.
How is it a horrible pick?
Oh.
It's one-hit wonder.
All right, Jeff. Apparently, it's a one-hit wonder.
No, not apparently. It is a
It
one-hit
is.
wonder.
It's just not a good one. It's just not a good one. But listen, I'll bring you
Because
back.
Closing Time is a better song.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Definitely
So
a better
wrong.
song than
So
Kung
wrong
Fu
on this.
Fighting.
I'll go back to the 60s or 70s actually. Another song that everybody's heard, and when it's on, no one changes it, and they smile and they bop their head and they sing along to it. In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry.
70s.
It's not a bad song.
It's a good song. It's been redone. It makes you happy. It's got a good little beat to it.
Could be the ugliest performer ever.
No, you took that title a long time ago.
Mongo Jerry is.
Oof. I've never seen Mongo Jerry.
Oh, you guys see him. He had
That's
bad teeth
that's
and
my
mutton
pick.
chops.
I think it's a good one.
He looked
I
like
think it's a
Jim
good
Varney.
hit. Does he really?
Yeah.
I pictured him being like a black guy with an afro.
He kind of has a little bit of but facially he resembles Jim Varney.
Does he really? That's
Yes.
horrible.
I remember watching that video all the time.
No shit. What you got, Scotty?
Oh, I'm
Wish you
up
could
again?
shush up and touch the sky.
and then dance in the moonlight. And then, so I went with it's kind of a fun song. I'm also going to shamelessly plug. I had this guy in the podcast, and I had no clue how we really got him, and I hadn't heard his name in years. But he was just recently. He was in prison for a little bit again. But if you remember the song "Informer" by Snow.
Oh
yeah.
Literally, the man has released Informer 98, Informer, like he does different versions of it, reggaeton versions of it. And it was actually a really hilarious interview. And the guy
so you're gonna bust my balls over Kung Fu Fighting, but you're gonna pick Informer where you can choo down.
Licky Boom Boom Down, actually.
Licky Boom Boom Down. Oh, that is fucking disgusting.
I will go on the record saying that Jeff is one of my dearest friends, and he is my podcast co-host here. I love him dearly. I will definitely pick Snow over Kung Fu Fighting any day of the week.
What's the bias on Kung Fu Fighting? Oh, but wait till then. If you're gonna hate Kung Fu Fighting, you're gonna really hate my next.
First off, how does Snow Informers not fit this category? It is like it's a massive.
I'm not saying it doesn't fit this
did.
category. It does fit this category. Snow is definitely a one-hit wonder. When you first heard that song, did you have any idea that he was a Canadian white guy?
No.
Yeah.
Definitely don't Jamaican man.
Kind of gave you that Jamaican vibe, and then you put on MTV, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
It's kind of like when you heard Rick Astley for the first time and couldn't believe what he looked like. He looked like Ron Howard.
So a cool story he told us. He went to prison before, like he recorded that song, and then he went to prison, and it became a massive hit while he was still in prison. And he came out like broke, and he came out to like being able to do world tours like as soon as he got out of prison.
Really?
So I think like armed robbery or something, or some kind of fight.
All right. Well, my next hit, and we're going to go into the 1980s, and it was co-written by a former guest of ours, Sean. Okay,
Robert Tepper.
Robert Tepper co-wrote this song, and the video is creepy as shit. But the song, the vocals on this song are absolutely amazing. We brought it up the last time. We said this guy's nickname is The Voice. Unbelievable singer. but the song actually charted twice in 1980 and 1989. But it's the only hit he ever had. Benny Mardones, "Into the Night."
Yeah, I love this song. I actually really do love this song. Always did. But now, if you really think about it, it's basically about child rape. You know what I mean?
The opening line, "She's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they say."
This could have been like this could have been a Bill Clinton campaign song.
Yeah.
No, I do love that song.
But
Great
the guy
song.
could fucking sing it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Did he just die?
That's a topic you guys should do for another episode.
I believe he has Parkinson's.
I think he just died.
Benny Mardones died?
I think he died like 2 weeks ago.
You guys should do an episode on great songs with creepy lyrics. There's a lot of them out there.
Ooh, that could be good too.
We could do that one day. Absolutely.
I am right. He died June 29th of 2020.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that song, man.
It's a good one. It is a good one. I'm going back to the 80s again. It's another song that I don't think you're going to find anybody in the world who hates this song.
I think
I Melt With You by Modern English.
No, that's not it.
What?
Yeah. I actually had to go on stage with Modern English once.
Did you?
Yeah. They were performing in Staten Island at the Paramount Theater. And I was working for a ticket broker at the time. And we were giving away tickets for Bowie's Glass Spider Tour. And in the middle of Modern English set, they brought me up so I can read off the raffle.
I was hoping you were going to say it was a flock of seagulls and the singer was missing, so you had the same haircut and they were going to bring you out on stage.
No, but Sean, here's something about Modern English. So I'm at this concert.
Do you know you don't have a concept of it?
They did I Melt With You twice.
Really?
Yes. They did it in the middle of the set and they did it as an encore.
I saw that with Seven Dust one time too. Seven Dust had just come out with their first album, and Black was the big song.
Yeah.
And they opened with it. They played it in the middle of the set, and then they came out and encored and did it again. They played it 3 times in one fucking show.
I actually 3 times.
Sean, I actually had this song on my list, and here's a great way to tell that this is an accurate pick. If you go to Spotify and you look at their streams, #1 stream, 13 million, I Melt With You. #2, I Melt With You re-recorded, 16 million streams. #3, I Melt With You, the 7-inch mix, 29 million.
If that's not the epitome, I don't know what it is then.
Yeah.
Who do you got next?
That's me, right?
That's you.
I'm going to go with, now, this is probably one of the worst songs of all time. And it is the one song in a market that is completely untapped over the years, okay? And that is Halloween songs, okay? The Monster Mash, by Bobby Pickett, is one of the worst songs in the entire world. Yet he has cornered the Halloween market with like 3 other songs. It's like the Ghostbusters theme, Purple People Eater, and Thriller. That's essentially all the Halloween songs. So I've been saying for years, that's the market to hit. If you can make a Halloween song, you're going to be played for the next 30 years. And Monster Mash is atrocious.
Have you ever?
It really is horrible.
Have you ever seen his performance of that on American Bandstand?
No, Jeff, we're not fucking 80. That's why.
No, but you have fucking YouTube. Okay, go and watch.
Not what you look up first, Sean.
Listen, I go down these wormholes. It's
oh, dude, your wormholes are worse than mine. Mine always start with like earwax videos and pimple popping, and then I wind up to like Austrian death metal. I have no idea how it gets to that level. Though.
I know it's crazy what you go down, but I have gone down this wormhole, got into the Monster Mash because I had to say, because I think I was looking at the Big Bopper doing what was his big hit? What was the big Chantilly Lace? You want to douche out. You got to say, it's this fucking idiot in a suit, and he's pretending he's talking on the phone.
Oh my God. I got a story to tell too.
You a what? It's so bad. And I was watching that, and somehow I got into the Monster Mash because the video for the performance of Monster Mash, Scott, is horrendous. He's making these weird faces and he's contorting his face. Oh, it's so
in the grave. It's so bad.
I hate that.
One time I did a Rocco Romeo show, and he did it on Halloween. And the opening act, I didn't recognize who it was. I knew everybody else on the lineup. Actually, it was a lineup of all Ginger comics, which was kind of weird. But the first guy that went up there, like he had a nickname or something, and it was a guy in the audience. He had a lab coat on, came up and just knew every word to the Monster Mash, got off the stage.
That's what we call a virgin.
It was
pretty much
one of the strangest things I've ever seen. And I had to follow that, which was fantastic.
I'm surprised you guys haven't come up with this song yet. I'm going to stay in the 80s.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And 1983, Dexy's Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen. Interesting song, man. You don't see a lot of like Celtic fiddling in pop songs that go to number one. It was a huge hit. And this, if you remember the song, because there was a lot of different.
Oh God, yeah.
Of course. Save Ferris did a great cover of that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did. That's like a ska cover, right?
Yeah, but it was really big. It made it into like a couple of those movies in that era, and
I think like something like Can't Hardly Wait.
You're probably right.
That had a great soundtrack. But I mean, it was the only hit for the band. And again, I think it does stand the test of time. It is still a fun song.
It is. It's a good song. And now you see all of the fake Halloween costumes with the friggin' girls with the name tag as Eileen. They have a little jizzle over their face, and that's their Halloween costume.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's we know. We get
You've seen the meme.
And yes.
All right, I'm gonna stay in 83, 84. I think the first great music video, not the first one, but the first great music video, Take On Me by Aha.
Literally what I have. Literally
what happened to that?
Sean.
Great.
Now I gotta hustle to my next pick.
It's a great song. But I don't know if you ever heard this. They actually just re-released it a couple years ago.
Why?
They did an MTV Unplugged. And they did a totally stripped down version of this song. And let me tell you something, it is phenomenal. The guy's voice is still there, hits the high notes.
He could sing.
And let me tell you, definitely check it out. Because when I heard it, I was blown away. I'm very rarely get blown away by a remake or something like that. Excellent version. And like I said, one of the first big music videos that we ever had on MTV.
That video still holds up. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Early 1980s, the first half of the 1980s, the concept was great. I guess the execution of it now would be a little bit better, but the story of it was fantastic. That's a great choice. I love that song.
Speaking of ska covers, Real Big Fish did an awesome cover of that, Take On Me.
Yeah. I used to love them.
You are stuck in the 90s, my friend.
Hey, what do you want? That's my wheelhouse.
There you go.
And he's wearing a Chili Pepper shirt to prove it.
Yeah. Well, I also went with the 90s on this next pick, and that was Deep Blue Something's Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Love that song. 3-chord, cool. Great song.
Yeah, cool song, catchy. You're not going to go call it a classic, but if it's on, you're like, all right, I'll sing along to this. A lot about breakfast.
Did its job.
Yeah, it did its job. You never really heard of Deep Blue Something too much.
Hurt anybody?
Kind of a fun. Didn't hurt nobody. It's not like Right Said Fred or one of those,
Oh, come on.
How no one has mentioned that one yet is really blowing me away too.
That's in Jeff's list. We in like a half hour.
No, but something right along those lines is my last choice in the 80s, Nina 99 Luftballons. And here's the thing with that song. There's a German, we all know there's a German version and there's an English version. Okay. The English version and German version are different. Like they didn't interpret the lyrics. The lyrics are completely different. So in the German version, 99 Luftballons, really the song is about 99 balloons being launched up, being mistaken for a UFO. In the English version, it's more about it's more a social commentary, because remember it's 1984, the Cold War is still going on, the Berlin Wall is still up, and it's about faulty early warnings of nuclear war.
Really? See, I thought it was like a celebration of the end of the war. That's how I misinterpreted that one.
Yeah, but everyone thinks like the German version and the English version are the same, just they interpret the lyrics, completely different lyrics.
I'm gonna say it. Goldfinger crushed that cover. Just
fucking. Did you see what they did during the? Did you see what they did during the pandemic? When they did the Zoom
best
version
band in quarantine. All 5 of their videos were fantastic.
Oh my God, was that good? That was really good.
There's a great band that came about during the quarantine too, which they didn't release anything, but they were called At the Movies. So it was basically like the singer from Soilwork, Bruce Kulick from Kiss, and tons of musicians, and all they did was cover 80s soundtrack songs.
Like what?
They did
this is a wormhole for me.
Oh my God. They did We Don't Need Another Hero from Mad Max.
Yeah,
fucking mind-blowing. They did No Easy Way Out by Robert Tepper.
Great song.
I think they did The Power of Love by Huey Lewis Manuse. But it's like these really heavy metal guys playing these, and dude, the songs are outrageous. So check it out. It's called At the Movies.
Speaking of like stuff that bands or musicians did during the quarantine, have you guys seen recently the new Betancourt, Taylor Hawkins, and Wilson version of Barracuda?
That girl can sing.
Guess what, Sean? She may be a guest on our podcast soon.
Really?
Very nice.
Why don't you try and get Nuno Betancourt?
I wish I could get Nuno Betancourt. I love that guy.
So do I. He's no Scott Brennan though.
For my next, few are.
My next pick, I actually just heard this song today, and I forgot about it because I have like one of those iPhones that has like 26,000 songs, and I just hit shuffle every once in a while.
Okay.
Space Hog. In the Meantime.
Oh yeah.
Why do I know? I know that name. How did the song go again?
I'm not singing it because I get paid to sing, but it started off with that bass line. It's a great song.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
great song. They re-released the album on Record Store Day for some reason. Like everybody's gonna spend $60 for one fucking song. They only put out one album too. 1995 during that whole K-rock, alternative Smashing Pumpkins is the greatest band in the world phase.
Yeah.
But I like that song personally.
Did you guys see, speaking of quarantine, did you see my boy Claudio Sanchez from Coheed, but Bill Kelleher, Les Claypool, Danny Carey, and the guy from Mastodon did the cover of Rush's 2 Minutes to Late Night?
Yeah, I did. And let me tell you why I fucking despise it. Because first of all, it's Rush, number one. Number two, Coheed and Cambria is fucking atrocious.
No,
and the only other band that's worse than Coheed and Cambria is Primus, and he's on that too. So basically, if a guy
hate Primus,
I fucking hate them. I can't stand them. I just saw them in concert; they were atrocious.
You didn't go see them? Who were they opening for?
Dude, it was Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, right? Doing an entire Pantera set.
That's good.
Then Primus.
Okay.
Then Ministry. With Slayer headlining.
Where was this?
That's an interesting
lineup. At the Garden. One of the weirdest lineup shows I ever saw.
But that's a good show to see.
It's a great show because everybody went there first to see Phil Anselmo, and the place was packed for an opening act because all he did was Pantera songs, right?
That's cool.
So then Primus comes out and like
you do Cemetery Gates?
Of course. And then a third of the fucking arena leaves when Primus is on because they're atrocious. And then like everybody fills back in. Ministry comes on. Half
you don't
the
like
place leaves.
Johnny Was a Race Car Driver?
Jerry Was a Race Car Driver is a good song. It's a good song. But
my name is Mud.
Oh, it's so overrated.
You're making Sean's argument from if you're gonna bring
I'm not the biggest Primus fan, but I'm a bass player, so Les Claypool is pretty
he's
amazing.
A phenomenal bass player. Don't get me wrong. He even tried out for Metallica.
Geddy Lee.
He tried out for Metallica and they told him no because he was too good of a bass player.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. He's too all over the place for that.
Yeah, but it's just a weird band. Like he wants to be a guitar player, but he's not a guitar player.
They are weird. They're not really my cup of tea, but I kind of respect their talent, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like Tool. They're like Tool. Like I like Tool a lot, but like I fucking hate them because they're so good.
Tool shows are so fun.
Do you ever have a band that's just so good that you hate them?
No, that doesn't make sense. I don't follow that.
But I will tell you one thing. When I saw Tool last year, there was one of those shows where you had to put the phone away in the neoprene sleeve.
Did you go at the Prudential Center?
Yes. There was not one person standing during that show. Mm-hmm. Everybody was sat down and focused on this band. And I got to tell you, one of the best shows I ever went to because people actually enjoyed the concert.
What did Maynard? What was he dressed as that? When I saw him, he came out on a guy's back, and he was like covered in neon blue paint.
No, he was pretty. I think he was straightforward. He was wearing all black.
Yeah.
But definitely a great show.
Scott, I did want to ask you one question about Les Claypool. Does he play a fretless bass?
Sometimes he does. Mostly he plays a 5-string regular fretted bass, though.
He's nuts. He's absolutely nuts.
All right, let's keep this moving. Go ahead, Scott.
All right, I'm going to go completely different genre here, and this is just because I had an absolute crush on this girl. I thought she was absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and that was Natalie Imbruglia with Torn. I thought she was gorgeous.
She was.
I think she's Australian, right?
She is Australian. What I like about that song is the way it ends with the great slide guitar.
Yeah, I thought she was one that would be around because she had that, had a sound that can kind of be generation. Like it doesn't quite fit into any, it's
like a 90s version of Sheena Easton, but only more like alternative.
You want to know something about that song? It's a cover.
Really?
The original band was called Edna Swap. And the song is very, very different. It's slow and it's really heavy guitar laden. And it got big because they played acoustic on the Stern Show, this band, after Natalie Imbruglia's version came out. And they were like, well, hold on. We did this song first. And then Stern did a great cover on Stern, but definitely check it out. It is super, super heavy.
Yeah, I thought she was gorgeous back in the day.
God, yeah, she was very cute.
A great video too.
Yeah, it was
really just kind of like her looking to the camera and stuff going on behind her, and she really sold that song. Like when an artist connects with the words that they're singing, like you could feel it. Man, I really like that song a lot.
Listen to the words, man.
The words, man. The world is watching. Speaking of guys who really took themselves a little too serious, but I put this down and now I'm into the 90s, by the way. I one hit wonder, but you all know this guy because of his brother. Okay, his brother is one of the most famous actors. His wife is probably more famous than he is. Amy Mann. I loved Michael Penn's No Myth.
Great song.
That is a good song, and I haven't heard that in forever either.
It's on my list too.
Forgotten. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's on my list. I always love that song. Always love that song.
For song that's forgotten or overlooked, but when it comes on the radio, you're not taking it off.
No, absolutely. I think it was like I think I almost went to number 1 if I'm not mistaken.
19.
I'm almost positive it was a number 1 hit.
I don't know if it went to number 1, but the lyric, I think like we all, because we all want to be the bad boy, like we all with the soul, like we all identified with the lyric, Romeo in black jeans.
Some of us wanted to be the bad boy, Jeff, and some of us just were the bad boy. You know what I mean?
Are you insinuating you were the bad boy?
I was the bad boy, Jeff.
Okay, Fonzie. All right.
I picked a good one for the next one because it's definitely a one-hit wonder, and the story about the guy is he actually quit. He quit doing music after this song because he said, I was happy. I had 1 hit. And a lot of people can't say they've had 1 hit. You Get What You Give by the New Radicals.
Oh, yeah. And do you know who sings background on that?
It's somebody famous, I believe, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how famous. Daniel Brisbois, who used to be on Archie Bunker's Place.
Yes.
Yeah, she was part of them. And do you know where that video was filmed?
I think Staten Island Mall, right?
Sean Morton for the win. Excellent. That's right. That's a great song. It's like one of the first call-out songs too.
Yeah, very true. So that's my pick. I thought it's a fun song too. You can't get depressed when you hear that song,
You can't get depressed, but I love that, back in the day, he was calling out like Beck and Hanson. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Feuds, big beef there.
Yeah. I'll fuck up Hanson. Especially that little one on the drums.
Jesus Christ.
Who's up? You, Jeff?
No, you.
Oh, Scott Brennan.
I'm in the same realm here. Well, not the same age, but a song that I love sing. Like I'm not embarrassed to sing to, and that's "Walking on Sunshine" by Katrina and the Waves. That's a song that comes on. It's a fun song. I don't know, stands the test of time. I actually enjoy it.
It's happy. You know, it's a little better when you do a couple bumps of coke before you listen to it.
I'll try that
really,
tonight.
really, you're flying on sunshine at that
game.
point. You know,
She was the American version of Nina.
Nina.
I don't know about that.
And she had the same haircut, same mullet.
Is that all it comes down to, Jeff?
Pretty much. Yeah, she was.
Is that what you're going
Speaking of mullets, Jeff, it's your turn.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go somewhere else, but I'm gonna go with this because he said walking. I'm gonna top his walking song. I'm gonna go 1991's Mark Cohn, "Walking in Memphis." Okay?
Good song.
And how the song was inspired, he had writer's block. And so he had read an article that James Taylor was like, well, if you've had writer's block, he's just going to go, someplace that would inspire you. And he went to Memphis, home of jazz. And he talks about it in the song. So that's why he literally wrote down what he saw. And, that was the lyric, and he, had the melody and turned it into this song that was nominated for a Grammy in 91. And I think he won Best Artist that same year. And there is a great cover that Cher does.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, that's my walking song. And as we're in the 90s.
This is another 90s song that if you hear it, you kind of picture yourself like in your first car, and you put this on to get the girl in the mood, to get her all night and make her think that you're all romantic and that you're a sweet guy before you start finger blasting her. It's Fade Into You by Mazzy Star.
Hey, I just heard that on Lithium this morning.
It's a definite, it's a slow song. It's kind of broody. It's a panty dropper, definitely. That's really all I got for that, because I basically took a girl and put that song on and tried to finger blast her.
Brings back memories.
Yeah.
Tell us more about your wedding.
Oof. That was kind of rough. All right, Ginger, you're up.
All right, I'm going to go with one of my favorite rap songs of all time. I think everybody loves it. It comes on, everybody's singing, and that's Just a Friend by Biz Markie.
Oh,
it's so good. It
really is.
Love it.
I saw him.
As soon as you hear that first two words, it's on.
Oh, dude, I saw him open. No, he didn't open. He performed with the Beastie Boys at Continental Arena in the round, and they brought him out to do two songs, that and Benny and the Jets. So can you imagine Biz Markie singing Benny and the Jets with the Beastie Boys playing? Great. Oh, it was unbelievable. But yeah, dude, totally. It's one of those songs that even white guys know every single word to.
Dude, it's so good.
It really is.
So good.
All right. Okay, so staying in the 90s, I'm going to go with I could see Scott Brennan like in this song.
Oh,
this is a Scott, that's what she said. This is a Scott Brennan song. The Toadies, Possum Kingdom.
On my list, but I do not consider them a one-hit wonder, but a fantastic album.
Why not?
Do I?
Why not?
I Come From the Water was a big hit too.
I Come From, and
I don't know.
Yeah, I like the song too. That one's on the fence for me. That one's kind of really on the fence for me if it's a one-hit wonder, but it's a great song. It just reminds you of the 90s, 92 3K rock era. They played it every 42 minutes.
It's a really I think it exemplifies 90s sound.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that album Rubberneck, I remember being
Rubberneck, that's right.
I remember old what was it, Columbia House. I remember getting the 12 CDs for a penny or whatever it was, and that was one of them, along with Presidents of the United States of America and Alana, Morton. All these came at the same time, and I remember loving the album. I haven't listened to it in forever, but I remember loving it.
I saw them at the old Roseland Ballroom open up for the Butthole Surfers.
Listen, the Butthole Surfers, one of the greatest names for a band ever, but had one good song.
Pepper.
Well, who was in my room last night? I was
thinking.
But yeah, that's a great name. I'll never forget.
Fun live too.
All right, so only one other person knows this story, so I'm going to tell it to you guys. If you want to talk about something that's really horrific, we saw a band named Shat, right?
Okay.
Bad band, but you want to buy our CD? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And he goes, well, why don't you take a look at it? And it was a picture of a girl with her legs spread open with marinara sauce between her legs and cheese. And it was called Cunt Parm. So I bought the CD just for that reason. Just for that reason.
That just reminds me of like Wayne's World. Like, who's playing tonight? Oh, the shitty Beatles. Any good? No, they suck.
Exactly.
If they were going to be paired with a comedian, you could see Bob Levy going on.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, let's do. Sean just went.
We're gonna do one more each.
One more
I'm
each.
gonna go with. I'm gonna try and go 80s metal. For this one, and I'm gonna say they're a one-hit wonder. They've been around forever, though. Once Bitten, Twice Shy by Great White.
That's a good one.
I don't think they're a one-hit wonder, Sean. They had.
Why do you say that?
That's probably their biggest hit, but they had other stuff as well. Do you remember anything by them, Scott? That was their big hit.
I'd have to go on Spotify and be like, oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah,
offhand, I can't. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of offhand, but I remember there were a couple of songs by them. And then what always throws me off is that they did a fantastic version of "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You."
Well, they actually did a whole Zeppelin album.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so I'll take that back. I'm gonna go with Scooby Snacks by Fun Loving Criminals. Then
there you go. Great.
They had Kickstart My Heart was another one they did.
Right. Okay. No, but I'm gonna go. I like that the Fun Loving Criminal. I worked with them. Great guys. They were the opening act on. I think they were the opening act on one of the Stones tours.
Shut the fuck up! Really?
Yes. And they were completely out of their element.
Oh yeah.
It was either the Stones or U2.
I remember U2. I don't think.
Yeah, I was working the show, and they were on the show, and they couldn't have been nicer guys. But the moment, because they were playing a fucking giant stadium.
That's crazy.
You think they were nicer guys than Shat?
Listen. Nothing's going to be Shat's album cover. Okay, that's marketing.
I'm gonna find it and send it to you too.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Mr. Brennan.
All right, last one I picked. Well, I had a couple more, but this kind of was trying to embrace that whole '80s thing, but in the early 2000s, and it was a great fun tune, and even the album had some funny songs on it. But you never saw them again. That was the Darknesses. I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Yeah,
such a good song.
It's so good. There was another song on that album which was hilarious. It was like, "Get your hands off my woman, motherfucker!" Like, it was great. Hysterical, but it should have been a hit. But yeah,
his voice was out of this world too.
It was. But that's really hard to keep going like that. Trying to really go on the nostalgia thing for that long.
They were like the 2000s version of Sweet.
Yeah, that very glammed up kind of
Fox on the Run.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. It was very on purpose, but it's a fun song to sing and play every once. So you throw it on a playlist every once in a while. People laugh. People have a good time. So I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart, Jeff.
I'm glad it's 2-on-1 again. I love this.
My last selection, the collaboration of CeeLo Green and producer Danger Mouse, Gnarls Barkley's "Crazy." I love that song. It's
so
only
good.
that they came out together. You've seen it in a million different commercials, and the video was really cool because it was like that whole Rorschach test thing where it was
great video.
Morphing, but I mean, come on, fucking CeeLo kills it on that song. The way.
And listen, you know what? He's a very talented dude. I mean, he had that monster hit with "Fuck You," and
his
then
Christmas album is awesome.
He just put out a soul album. Just came out, which I mean, it sounds like 70s soul, and he announced that they're doing another Gnarls Barkley album.
Did you ever see
some of the old like Atlanta stuff too? The old like stuff with Outkast is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Did you ever see CeeLo Green's appearance on Live at Daryl's House?
Yes.
One
of my favorite shows.
Yeah, he does. He's really, really good, man. And that's perfect in his wheelhouse because of that blue-eyed soul, and he brings like that real soulful voice to it. It's a great collaboration.
Absolutely.
Daryl Hall.
He's great.
This was
all right,
fun.
fellas. Hey, Scott, where can people find you, and what do you got going on?
I got a whole lot of nothing going on. I just had a gig canceled tonight because of the rain. Next time I have a show is the 26th in Denville, New Jersey, with Mike Gaffney, Joe Conti, and Joanne Filan. So it's a good lineup. And the most important thing is they could come check out Verbal Shenanigans, which is a podcast I've been doing for about 6 years.
Great podcast. I was a guest on it last year, I think.
Yeah, we deleted that episode, but the rest of the episodes are, we've had a lot of really cool guests on the show.
With these people?
A lot of really cool guests on the show over the years, and
you do get a high quality guest. I will tell you
it's
that.
It's a good show, man.
That's
how I met Scott.
So it's been my labor of love for 6 years. We're about 325 episodes in. So go check out Verbal Shenanigans. It's on all.
Yeah, I don't give anybody credit ever for anything, but it's only one of it's one of 7 podcasts I listen to.
Oh, good.
Really
so
is.
The other 6 are yours?
No, I don't listen to any of my shit.
I never listen to my own. I edit it and get it up, and I'll never hear it again.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely check out Verbal Shenanigans. It's a great podcast. You can get everywhere, iTunes, all the places where you can listen to podcasts. And next week we have
another list show.
We have another list show next week. So listen, thank you all for checking out the show. Scotty, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Hit subscribe everywhere you can. Let's boost those numbers up so we can actually make some money doing this shit. And have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody.
Later. Adios, guys.